It would help if I turned my mic on, huh? It would help if I turned my mic on, huh? And killed the echo. And killed the echo. That's right. We're a professional outfit here. Only top quality. It's okay. We'll kill that in the edit. Welcome everyone. Got another game here on Pillars. It is, of course, as you know, the only map in Nebulous right now. Chardonnay memes hitting us with, is that 2 point defense? Okay, that's E-War. That's point defense. Another point defense. Wow, someone has touched this person in a bad way with missiles in the past. Are there... Okay, there are actual weapons in this fleet. 250s and 120s. Only 4 of them, so pretty lightly armed, but looks like he's going to be sticking with globble 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 lob here. A 450 cannon BB, no rear turret, so it's going to be nose on. If those two stick together, they should be able to do a lot of damage here. Oh, let's see how they fare against this early S2 wave here. Missiles are curving in. I see now why this person opted for so much point defense. That's coming out of, yes, the S2 spam line ship over here. He's picked the wrong target, though. Plenty of point defense there. They might need to back up just a smidge. They're kind of leaving the battleship in the dust here. And it looks like John Nebulous has figured it out. It's going to come in the blind spot straight up the tailpipe of this battleship. Oh, no. Maybe they go for the chaff. Some of them are going for the chaff. Oh, he launched an active decoy. Active decoy, absolute MVP versus active radar missiles. Gets him every time. Hopefully he backs around behind that pillar before the next wave comes out. Looks like he'll make it. Oof. 4 points to kill 40 points of missiles. That's value right there. Let's go ahead and finish our roundup real fast. Another BB over here. He's taking a lot of Corvettes. Makes me think that it's maybe a little bit lightly armed. Maybe light on DC. No? 12 restores. Okay. Well done to that player. I always love to see BBs taking escorts. And finishing this off, we have, of course, MCRN. Is there a Donager? Oh, Hyperion, Shrike, and Demion. Oh, okay, I see what he's done. And the Sparrowhawk. What was the name of this book series? Hyperion Canthos, that's it. Yes, we here on Cryptic's channel are well-cultured gentlemen, yes. Meanwhile, these two fleets are pummeling the DDs with, oh goodness, it's basically dead already. Ouch. Looks like it has 250? No, 450 line ship and an Acello group, so thanks for that. Is that 2 or 3 fleets here? I think it's only 2. Let's go through. So we've got 450, 450, and an EWR monitor. Over here, of course, is the missile barf. Let's go ahead and see what he's up to. Trying to curve some more missiles around here. The entire fleet is there, though. Can they make it? Oh, they do. A little bit. Kind of weird. They did snag a piece of this frigate, but it doesn't look too bad. And an awful lot of S2s being shot here. He's already fired over half of his missiles. One entire strike is going to delete this poor little Corvette. Let's watch this happen. Ooh, my God. Is anything alive? No. That was just rude. All right, we'll try and get through this. Meanwhile, we have double plasma. Okay, so there's 2 plasma, 2 T-30s. We'll have to see how well that does if it gets in range. Possibly it could engage the battleships, but with the state of plasma right now, it's going to be an uphill battle. And of course, rounding out that, we have John Nebulous here with his 450 Ocello and the tug escorts. This is a nice fleet. I think this is really well balanced. There's some E-War on the tugs. They're also armed with 250s, so that helps a little bit against light cruisers and such that are kind of hard to hit with the 450s. And this amount of jamming, I think every single tug has dual jammers, yeah. So that's 8. That's the equivalent of 16 blankets flying around right there. So absolutely an absurd amount of jamming. Definitely you'd never need to fire more than 2 of these at a time. Maybe each one sequentially would be enough to mask even this Ocello. That's just an insane amount of jamming. So we got started a bit late. Let's talk about, oh, more missiles coming in. Are these headed for the battleship? They are. A lone battleship up here. It's already lost one of its escorts. It's armed with Sarissas, which are not going to be good. Here comes the stone walls. They have to reload. Let's see if they're able to take everything out. It looks like they... Okay, they do. Oh, another active decoy. Those active decoys are so choice against... I assume there's something like active radar, home on jam, just a cheap missile to shove 500 of into a hull and spam. But that Ocello's got rounds on target. So, of course, ANS did manage to cap A. OSP tactically owns the space. The only worry they have are these destroyers preventing this Ocello and tug from going there. Looks like they want to. Anyway, meanwhile, on the left, we have the Plasma T-30 line ships engaging the battleship and missiles flying in the background. Let's go ahead and get some cinematics here. Some cinematics. The frigates are coming in, trying to put a little bit of fire on, not being super successful. Meanwhile, these line ships are just driving straight ahead, heedless of whatever threat this battleship might possibly pose. Want to see if those missiles made it in. They did not. Another active decoy goes out, and they all fly off into the sunset to live a happy and carefree missile life. Let's check out this plasma. Plasma, of course, got a nerf. It's a little bit of an old news type deal here. At this point, you can see the patches. It's not until they're all the way black that the HEHC from these 100 millimeters will go through. So to deal with that, really now at this point, the fleets that are firing into the plasma, they have to use the 100 mil armor piercing, or they'll do absolutely no damage, which is what's happening here. All of these HEHC rounds, you can see there's no flashes happening at all. Meanwhile, these line ships, they're not too terribly damaged yet. Luckily, they managed to keep this rock between themselves and the frigate swarm. If these frigate swarms were on target, these ships would be taking a lot more damage. 450s, obviously they can kill the crap out of a line ship. It's just a matter of DPS, and it takes a while. So it's sort of a race now here between this plasma. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, these 100 mils are continuing to fire HEAC. Probably River Chalice over here doesn't even realize it's not doing damage. Pre-patch, this battleship would have been utterly destroyed at this point. Its entire armor would be gone. It looks like it's getting close to getting stripped. The problem is these sections that are glowing, they're not completely stripped, and they have to be hit. I think it's 3 times now. At least twice, definitely. But you can see still nothing. is coming out of that. And here come the frigate swarm. And that is going to give the DPS needed to put these line ships down. Meanwhile, these Tempest missiles are having one hell of a time. Maybe they'll find some luck against the DDs. So far, the battleships, those active decoys have just been so choice in distracting all of these missiles. But the DDs are in range of this Acello group. Looks like that missile, again, not able to hit anything. More chaff, more soft kill is being super effective. I want to see. Don't think anything else is happening. Looks like up top is pretty quiet despite the 450 line ships being there. So the battle's happening between the DDs and this Acello tug group on the center and the BBs and these frigates against the line ships. I can't see it right now, but I'm just know from experience that that battleship is going to be completely fine, and those frigates are going to tear those line ships a new one. Meanwhile, the 250 tugs are coming in against these destroyers. Do they perhaps not have jamming to protect them? Jamming has fallen off a lot in popularity, mostly due to the long-range targeting radar. And because of that, an open field destroyer charge is kind of a doomed play at this point. Without anything to protect you from the return fire, you're going to get hit in the nose. Obviously, the nose is where the beam is, and without that, there's nothing to be done. So, unfortunately, it looks like that's all the DDs are going to get up to. Definitely a strong argument for taking a beam battleship over DDs now. If you are going to do the DDs, definitely use those blankets. The jamming is super strong against OSP. The only thing is you have to also take hangups to make sure that they can't communicate with their long-range targeting radars. Those can sit from 12, 13, really far away, kilometers that is, and give targeting data to the fleet that you're trying to jam, and if that happens, they'll still shoot at you. The long-range targeting radar, the LRTs, have plenty of accuracy to allow ships to shoot at something like a DD. So a little bit of a different build is required for something like a DD array now. It still can work. It's just a lot harder to do against the OSP because of those long-range radars. Obviously, if you're sitting 12 kilometers away and you have a 10-kilometer range blanket, you're not going to be able to jam that out. Meanwhile, a quick recap here. The unfortunate situation with the DDs is made up for by the unfortunate situation of this Plasma T30. I mean, this is just kind of another indication of issues. We're trying to get Plasma on target in order to kill heavy targets like battleships with those 100 mils. It just doesn't work the same as it did on OSP release. I hear people tell me, yeah, it still works. You just have to take more plasma. I'd agree up to Axfords. Plasma 100 mil works great against Axford still. You can try shooting 100 mil AP. It just doesn't seem very cost effective. There are other better choices on OSP if you want to put down a battleship than to try and force Plasma 100 mil to do the job now. Even rockets, I think, are a better bet, even though they have their own issues.
The enemy secured zone eclipse.
So, meanwhile, This Ocello group in the center is still kind of a threat. The problem is without basically their entire rest of the team, they're going to have a real hard time. So we have the 450 line ships that are still combat capable, and there's the Ocello tug group in the center. The S2 Barf ship had all of its missiles stonewalled, so it's GG for Paul Nebulous. And to fight that, we have a beam battleship at close to, not quite 100%, but close enough. A cannon battleship, actually 100%. A frigate gun fleet, although it's lightly armed, it is also 100%, at least as far as the armed parts go. And to fight that, we have 2 line ships and an Ocello. You could say, yes, the 250 AP coming out of the tugs also will hurt, but it's not going to be a real big factor when this battleship gets turned around and starts having beams on target. I would guess the range that it is at right now is probably about 5, maybe 6 kilometers to that Ocello group. So, or it's even closer to these line ships. It looks like probably this BB is going to go for the line ships. Maybe Dramus here doesn't realize it's a beam battleship. Because if it did, it would know that it needs to be running away, not running towards. Let's see, looks like the frigate swarm is going to spread out a little bit. Or this one is incapacitated, never mind. The frigate group is going to stay together and take E. It's going to run into Paul Nebulous over here. I'm not even sure if this ship has engines. Oh, it does.
The enemy is securing Zone Comet.
I'm watching. Okay.
So I'll have to welcome my wife to the stream. First time ever watching a Nebulous stream. She thinks this is a dumb game.
I do not. I don't know anything about it. I can't make judgments.
We'll see. Everyone in chat is being super quiet, so I really don't have anything to interact with. But you're going on YouTube, so
Cool.
hi for that.
Yay. So they all know that I came home and I'm like, feed the dog.
Yep. It's fine. This game is basically over. The ANS in blue here has an absolute and complete victory. It's just a matter of mopping up. Here come these beams. It's found the early warning radar monitor. I suppose that was going for a sneaky sea cap. It did cap it. It's not going to live to tell the tale, though. And these frigates are starting to engage this Ocello. Let's zoom in on this Ocello, see what happens here. The Ocello's trying to fight the cannon battleship. And the frigates are wisely going for the support tugs. There's plenty of jamming going on, but it looks like they're close enough. They're burning through it. And because of that, these tugs are probably not long for the world. Oh, looks like enough jamming has gone out. It stopped the frigates from firing. Either that or they're still firing. They're just going behind the rock there. Meanwhile, this cannon BB looks like it's just being shot a little bit in return for nothing. Does it have cannons? Okay, it's firing at nothing. It's just kind of backing behind the rock there. Oh my goodness, there has been chat. Why do I have a giant thing here that is covering my chat? I can't see. Oh goodness. I apologize. There's been like a page of chat, but a thing is on top of my thing and I can't see it. That's tragic.
The enemy is securing zone.
I'm very sorry to all the people that said stuff. All my thing is messed up.
Oh, they gotta ban me because I talked shit. I didn't talk shit.
I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties here.
I'm sorry I brought on.
Yeah, it is your fault.
So I'm gonna. Okay, so how am I making my alert gear?
I don't know. That is in fact a question. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, we're not going to worry about that for now. We're going to finish this match. We're going to go on a short break, and then we'll fix this stuff.
The enemy secured zone Eclipse.
Yeah, that is, in fact, a lot of jamming. Unfortunately, there's probably nothing like an ARAD missile to do anything about it. These frigates are actually turning tail and running. And that might not be the play. This battleship has also backed off. I cannot, for the life of me, explain why a cannon battleship is running from a single Ocello. They must have seen now that it is one Ocello and determined that if it went in, it would be able to kill it. I suppose this is a case of, well, I don't really know. Obviously, these frigates are going to be able to get away and run away, but is that the play? I don't think so, actually.
I'm not gonna go super. Not really.
Yeah, so OSP's kind of put the fear into them, and because of that, ANS is not going to be able to win this game. These frigates have run away from ACAP. They're down in points now after another tick goes by. This battleship is just kind of chilling out here, doing absolutely nothing. The other battleship, meanwhile, has decided to... I don't know. So very few times when I'm casting a game do I see something that I actually cannot come up with a reason for why this is happening, and this is one of those cases. The ANS completely out-armors, out-guns, out-everything this OSP team, but because perhaps it's the jamming. We'll go with that. The jamming is making it so that the ANS can't engage targets, and because of that, they are hiding behind rocks and are on their way to losing the game. This almost feels like a Battle of the Bulge type moment where they don't realize if they just push, they would kill the enemy and win. And because of that, they're playing so passively that it's going to cost them the game. If they fail to engage this Ocello and put real damage onto it and take it out, that's absolutely what is going to happen. This Ocello, these tugs, they are barely damaged at all. They're holding this crucial A point here, which is defending B. It's defending... Well, it could push on E, potentially. And I've just realized now that ANS has not capped C. There goes the battleship flying past it. And this is unfortunate. This is just really unfortunate. That's all I can say about this. This battleship, it's charging through the open into the 450 fire. It will get there. It will be able to kill these line ships when it does. But it's going at a very slow 20 meters a second now and firing at the ship that doesn't have any weapons on it. What are these frigates doing? Okay, these frigates are going for E, which they already own. This battleship. Oh boy. Okay. I will say the points are pretty even right now. It's really unfortunate that ANS has not capped C. It would have been easy for that battleship to kind of swing by and cap it before going to engage this. But because that didn't happen, the OSP continues to have a 3 cap. They're threatening to take back E, which would give them a 4 cap. This cannon battleship is not in a position really to do anything. This is a defensive position. You want to take something like this spot, if you already own A, and you want to shoot at what's trying to capture it. But ANS doesn't own A, so the fact that this player is here is kind of defending their D spot. It's just kind of strange. Meanwhile, the OSP is okay. They've forced a fight with this frigate swarm. Frigates, meanwhile, look like they're firing back at the tugs. A good old-fashioned gunfight happening here. Let's check out the damage. It looks like the tugs have come out ahead. Now, earlier in the match, these E-War frigates got taken out, and that definitely contributed a lot to the fact that these frigates no longer have their E-War advantage, and because of that, they might be having targeting issues fighting these tugs. They're definitely on the losing end of that engagement. It looks like there's still 2 of them alive. This is defanged. This is, looks like, immobilized. It has, oh no. There was 1 rapid DC and everyone got killed. So that ship has no DC left. That explains why it's no longer kicking.
The enemy is securing zone dagger.
And despite the fact that there was this battleship here, it hasn't defended its D point. So OSP is going to close in on a 4 cap here. The line ships have outrun the battleship, and it looks like they've mostly killed it. And the Acello tug group, meanwhile, continues to own the center. It's providing some fire support now to the line ships. Did these line ships really make it out scot-free? Wow, they did. Yikes. So what looked initially to be a very strong position for the ANS has really been kind of thrown away here. I'm trying to be generous to the players here, but I especially this BB. I mean, it's not AFK. It's receiving commands. It's targeting ships. It's attempting to engage. It's just in the wrong place. Instead of here, this battleship needs to maybe be here on the inside, where it can actually defend point D and get shots onto point A. I mean, if it needs cover even back here in this little wedge here, would be better than above on the right where it is. So a little bit of a confusing play for me. Obviously, the ship, you know, it is contributing, it's firing, it's trying to get stuff done. It's just in a very, very weird position. This battleship up here, it's kind of an unfortunate situation. It definitely should have captured C. Capturing C would have left the A and S on a 3 cap since they have point E. In that position, they could have defended E, D, and C and kept the pressure on the OSP to do something. Because that didn't happen, specifically that point C, the battleship kind of charged out there, and it looks like it lost too many thrusters, or maybe, let's see. Okay, so this is a standard drive build, a little bit not optimized to go fast. Let's see. These are both basic drives. These are reactors. Yeah, so no additional whiplashes or anything on this Beam BB. That hurts your options extremely a lot. Not having any whiplashes, any raiders, anything that's going to give you a speed advantage on a beam battleship means that actually when this battleship went out to chase down these line ships, the battleship was slower than them to begin with. So although I thought that that battleship should have caught them and engaged them, really at no point were those line ships ever even in danger, because they could just stay outside of that 5-kilometer range and kite the battleship. That's exactly what they did. So an unfortunate situation for the ANS. I mean, I think they handled that that line ship charge pretty well. They seem to do pretty good as a team. 2 critical, well, I'll say 3 critical failures there. Number 1, the battleship not capping C. That was a big deal. Number 2, the battleship not having any whiplashes, any kind of movement increase. You really have to go above, I think it's 35 that you can get a beam battleship to pretty easily. You got to go fast. You cannot take a stock speed beam battleship out onto the field against OSP and do a good job. This cannon battleship, you know, I understand the want to play defensively, especially in the face of overwhelming jamming, like what's happening here. That can feel really bad to try and push into jamming. The thing is, this battleship severely outclasses this single Ocello, and I have to believe at some point in the game they did identify that this is an Ocello with a couple of tugs. If this cannon BB had pushed straight into A at that point, it would have taken pressure off of the top beam battleship. It might have even killed that Ocello. It certainly would have forced it to back up, which protects their E point, which protects their D point. And because those 3 things didn't happen, the beam battleship died. This cannon battleship never applied the type of pressure that it needed to. And yeah. So well played, OSP. Good job, everybody there. It's a good game. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll go ahead and get another one loaded up. I'm just curious how much damage this frigate fleet actually did. Let's see. So there's 10k, 16k. Not a bad amount for this frigate fleet. It did a good job. This battleship also did a good job. Definitely, though, the drives. Well, allergic to bullets, that's the thing. It really depends on the build of the meme battleship. Number one, that's the most important factor for, well, I shouldn't say that. That allows you to play it in its most effective way. And the most effective way is to go into the center of the map where all the cover is available. It protects you from the 450s. It'll protect you from missile strikes. And if you have the speed and the positioning, you can run out and demolish people and slip back away into safety before they have anything they can do about it. And you can control such a large amount of the map with the right build. It has to be built correctly. You've got to have speed available to the beam battleship if that's what you want to do. Yeah, beam BB on pillars is definitely good. So Dragonfly is the turn drive. It actually makes you slower. Raiders, you need at least one Raider in order to get your acceleration up. 1 or 2 Whiplashes, and maybe a Dragonfly also. It's tight on the power, but you really need that speed. These destroyers, unfortunately, kind of got picked out and slaughtered. Let's check out. Yeah, so this fleet is probably MVP. 16,000 on the Ocello, each tug an additional 6,000 each. So that's another 24. So a 40k game coming out of John Nebulous. Well played to him. Really unfortunately, this ship it got some hits eventually, but a lot of the missiles got killed. I mean, let's see, 178. So that's like, oh here, yeah, 80% of the missiles killed. Rough. Meanwhile, these line ships, yeah, and this is just the story of how Plasma 100 mil is. Let's see what got shot. Oh, it was AP being fired. Wow. Yeah, so if anyone rewinds in their mind how much plasma splashed on that battleship and how much 100 mil AP went into the battleship, absolutely 0 damage. Out of 11,000 damage potential, 192% came out. That is just, that's non-functional, right? You're talking about 60 plasma hits on this one ship, another, let's see, 100, yeah, another 60 plasma hits on this ship for a grand total of less than 500 damage. I just have to say it's completely non-functional against battleships.